So what's the rules around this then? Are there rules?
Well, I don't know about rules. I just think let's look at why we're doing it. So as New Zealand, we've got a bit of a dirty little secret. We work more hours than any other country except for Japan on average, but according to OECD, we are one of the least productive.
We're guinea pigs, aren't we?
Yeah, and it's that whole relentless, and why are we doing it? So, okay, sure, if you want to be focused and be busy to get an outcome, great, or to get something that's really fulfilling for you, but I think there's just all this crazy downtime, or not downtime, that we have where we're not producing anything, but we're busy.
But that's the Japanese. I mean, I lived in Japan for quite a while, and they just hung around. If the boss was there having a smoke at the end of the table, they basically stayed there as well. It was the most unproductive society I'd ever seen.
Well, I think, thankfully, that almost badge of honour thing about, hey, I didn't leave the office before 8 o'clock,
yes,
that's not really around in New Zealand. There are still definitely some industries that encourage that, but it's just more about the fact that we stay at work because we've got that work that we feel we should be doing.
But how do you say to a boss? Because I feel there is an expectation that you've got to be there at 8 and you've got to leave there at 6, and God forbid that you leave any earlier. So how do you say to the boss, look, I've done my work, or can I do it from home? What's the best way to approach that?
Well, exactly that. I think a lot of time it's about our boundaries. So I was working with a girl last year who was a graduate. She was working for a large accounting firm. She was working her butt off. They just kept on giving her work. She was working till 1 a.m. every day. Her bloody male mate, I shouldn't get into that.
No, get into it. No, get into it.
But seriously, he'd just say no. And guess what? They didn't give it to him. They gave it to her. So I think one of the things is we don't want to be a mug about this. If we just take on the work, then we're going to get given the work. If we don't ask to leave or work from home one day, then we're not going to get it.
So this is about controlling and owning your approach to your work. This is about owning yourself, really, isn't it?
Look, I really like what Lisa said about do what works for you, and that's been a big thing for me. So someone like you, Mark, I mean, how many shows are you on at the moment? It's like, oh my goodness, Mark's not on TV right now. And,
well, a couple of them are in jeopardy. We won't go into that.
But that's great, and if that works for you, excellent. And I think I'm what I call a reform freneticist. About 15 months ago, I beat myself up big time because I'd just been driving for 10 minutes and I had not been on my phone making calls and doing business. And the people that I caught up with said, Laurel, that's insane. And I've just kicked back. And do you know what? I've realised I've got so much more clarity on what I want to do rather than what I thought I should do.
Do you stop? When do you stop?
I stop a lot. I've got really, really good at doing nothing.
But how did you do that? How do you go from a crazy life to being more laid back?
Well, I think you look at the costs. And what I realised was that I was catching up with people and I would prefer to be spending time with my kids. And when I got really clear on that, it was easy.
This is what my wife says to me. Say no.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm terrible at it. I'm getting better, but... Oh.
So, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. Say yes, take opportunities, be the best that you can be. I kind of say, let's say no. We don't have to try everything. And so I think, there's a great tip, Duncan, is just practice saying no and see what happens.
I know, it's not as easy as that, though, is it?
It is that easy. We make it too complex.
This is about me.
You know what? I was going to chip in with a question there, but I decided not to. I just sat back and I relaxed, and it was nice. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Can you not take that attitude into tomorrow's 3 hours? We want you on your age.
Reprimanded for that.
Okay, hey, that's us. Nice to see you.
Thank you, Duncan.
Thank you so much. Hey, one last tip. Come on, give us one last tip.
I think one last tip is work out when you work best. If you're a morning person, get up early. If you're a late person, work late. And then you've got more time during the day to do stuff that you want to do.
Don't stretch it out over two parts of the day.
That's right.